So, welcome everybody. We are back on the Rimworld. So I will bring up a few last dits and dats so I can read all the chats. And then we are going to dive into the adventures of building the rest of our graph ship, hopefully. It's a pretty lengthy ordeal, but we're getting there. So, up, almost there. Okay, now I can read everybody. Nice. Okay, so finally. Thing here is, we have a mechanoid cluster, so that's the first thing that I want to take care of for today. I still have that anti-bug zone, and we are going to create ourselves a new one. So, first up, anti-mech zone, invert, and there we go. So clear allowed zones, and we're just going to cut out this whole area here. The majority of that area here too. Let's expand a wee bit about there again, just to make sure that we don't lose the tunnels. Because I think I need to do a little bit more granular, and then we should be good to go. There we are. You see, we might be probably wanting to not go that close anymore. Yeah, that's enough. So, then, voila. Everybody is now secure. I just haven't had the motivation to do that the last time when the cluster came down. Okay, besides that, we are pretty good. We are getting forward with the spaceship hull pretty decently. There's still a couple of gravlight panels left, and yeah, we're hopefully going to get off this grid. Maybe tonight even. That would be something, wouldn't it? Until then, let's see how things are going. I mean, the Explorers Guild has been thriving so far. We have Gukis still on the conversion. That is something that I need to keep my eye out for. And our dutiful... Oh, no, the dutiful path is our... Whoopsie. Definitely haven't been here often enough lately. So, George is welding on the spaceship. He has a horrible construction as of yet, but he'll be getting there. He's passionate, and I am actually quite happy that we have another one of these. And I have a Mega Sloth. Self-tamed itself. Okay. Do I even have somebody who can handle that? I mean, Bennett has animals 10. Let's see. Minimum handling 10. Alright. Bennett, this is now your own personal fuzzy giant. We are going to teach that thing to attack. Uncommon behaviors? What's that? Dig. Whoa. This is now vanilla? Sweet. Yeah, that one too, please. Jeez, that's cool. I am really surprised that this is actually a thing now. So let's quickly save the game. I don't want to lose that thing. Mysterious cargo. So, unspecified car. I haven't had that one yet. But they're offering a vac suit helmet and plasteel, so let's go for it. Revenant spine. Okay, so that looks like it is trouble. We are going to take care of trouble while we still can. It's so cool that I haven't had experience with the anomaly content yet, so there's so many things still to discover. I somehow think that this thing will attack me still. That's why the new girl on the block gets the job. Okay, we just yielded a shard, actually. Nice. That's super lucky, as a matter of fact. And let's see. Cool. Not so cool. But I guess we just got extremely lucky here. Or it was just one of the better outcomes of this one, because so far it looks like we had a really, really harmless outcome of that event. Well, I won't be muttering about that. Nice. Got ourselves a vac suit helmet, a steel. Pretty good stuff. Okay. Oh, storm requires conversion still. I knew that we had something to do still. Okay, so in 1 day and 15 hours, this thing here will pop. But I just hope that eventually some raiders will go there and be okay with it. And get eaten by it, you see. Just the regular things that you wish your enemies to experience. Okay. I don't have any interest whatsoever, though, to try to tackle that thing manually, because it's one of those lucky clusters, how I like to call them, where there's no environmental threat inside that forces me to crack them open. There's really nothing here. The unstable power cells would be amazing if we could be keeping them, but most likely not. Well, well. Kind of sad that we are going to leave this place behind us rather sooner than later. On one end. On the other end, I can't wait to leave this place behind me. But I mean, I managed to make from Jimmy alone a whole faction. Come on, Storm. Seriously? That little boy is cosplaying Stormtrooper right now. Vac-suit, helmet, and charge rifle. Boy, the vac-suit helmet is not meant to be played around with. I'll just leave it in the freezer, that's okay. It has a very favorable spot here, it just lies on top of the battery, where most likely nothing will ever happen to it. Cool with that. So, how much longer until we are finally done with that stupid stormy weather? 14 days in total. So we are way past the 50% mark, at least something. In all honesty, these quests, the worst about them is the sound pollution that they produce. Alright. George is botching quite a lot of jobs, but that is okay. Problem is Lost is losing his marbles slowly because he's suffering from Alzheimer's. We probably will see George replacing this job sooner or later. Recurve bow! I don't know why I'm even researching these, but to some degree, I'm a completionist at some point. Just keep the scientists busy, you see. Okay. What a crappy outline of a ship. Alright. I got a mega sloth now, man. Nice. This is quite the cool part for tonight. Ooh, we get bird again. Conversion ritual almost available. Jimmy's bringing up the next pew. Or Lost, whatever. Excellent quality. Perfect. Okay then. So I still have a little bit of grav ship substructure slots left. Got a very, very hard time deciding here. But I think we're going to make those wings here a little bit wider. It's been 18 parts. Plus 14 makes 32. And I think I'll be running out of panels here already. Let's see if that'll work out. Let's cut some corners to save some grid. Party time! So they're partying right when the mechanoids will awaken on the other side of the map. That is quite the irony, isn't it? So the mechs now will be just roaming here and be chill. That's all. There's still a hunting job that I want to get rid of. There we go. So, Gookis. I'm not too happy with her gun, but I don't know what I should give her instead. They're partying inside there. Okay. Storm and Jimmy joked about taming dinosaurs. Alright. Give me dinosaurs and I'll tame them. There's no joke about that. Crazy ritualists from the other day. Life's good out here. Really appreciate that we had the drop of plasteel on the last quest. It was a real big help. So how's the excavations going here? The first steel vein is depleted. The other one hasn't been started yet. Okay. So it looks as if we are even +5 Gravlight panels after everything is done. Yes! Wonderful. Ugh. I'm so happy when that worst weather is finally over. 10 days of constant storm. So grindy on the nerves. Okay. But we'll be getting there. For sure. So, I mean, I really don't like George training his abilities on the spaceship frame, but on the other hand, it's better than other parts where he actually can waste material in the bigger picture, because here we only waste 2 steel per botch, which is annoying enough, but not the end of the world. He's not wasting the Gravlight panel, so it is okay. It brought him to construction 5 after all already. That's pretty decent, I'd say. Tell you what, George. You're going to get micromanaged by the invisible hand in the sky to deconstruct a couple of things. Because deconstruction is the best way of leveling your construction. There we go. Taking these things apart. It's giving him the training he requires. Ooh, we got the ultimate partners of Space Nexus. Alright. There's really no mediocrity with these guys. Okay, donkeys. No. Thank you, but no. Hyperweave. My own. Sell that. These little scraps of the material don't really matter. They got 1 whole Gravlight panel for sale. I can't say no to that chance. Damn. Oh man, these guys are really stingy on the goods. Okay. Hey, Paper Boy, so happy to see you, mate. Good evening. So, there was a conversion. Storm. Get converted. Why didn't I do this in the proper room? Ah, well, Storm wants to be converted into Storm. Masterful conversion ritual. That's why we're doing it. Hell yeah. So that boy, he's a believer now. Damn. He looks quite evil. So, we have a Mega Sloth now, and I need names. So the first good call gets dibs. Waiting the whole evening, but Manhunter Pack. Man-hunting guinea pigs. Brace yourselves. Fuzziness is incoming. Okay, Randy. You really want to cuddle us, eh? Gotta love that super small guy with that charge rifle. Get you, silly little fuzzballs. Oh, geez, it's actually really working. No, it's in your face. Okay. So yeah, so this weird contraption here does what it's supposed to do. These guys are taking the really slow path inside there. Here, you notice what it does here. They wouldn't be taking this orderly approach I read without this weird contraption here. Another one made it to the barricades. Gukis was assaulted in melee. Go for the eyes, Bo! Go for the eyes! It tried. Definitely a head injury, but yeah. I think we made it. We made ourselves some guinea pig burr and guinea pig steak. Well, good job, everybody. Yo, don't you want to get bandaged? No. The rain washes away the blood. That hyperweave hat is really killing me. That is one of the most wasteful usages of hyperweave, but also a fashion statement. Come on, Gukis. You're bleeding on the potatoes. Oh, Storm is getting a lesson from the medieval bard minstrel. Bard Bennett. Okay, who is the doctor who we want to learn more about doctoring? I'd say Maxwell is the person. But I will go for a no medicine treat, because that little scratch doesn't really deserve a bigger medical usage. I can already hear the infection siren blaring, but joke's on me then. I'm fine with that. Okay. Jimmy cooking them Psyche D's. Nice. So let's get back to business. Suicidal Interplanetary. It's an interesting name. They'd buy my shuttle engine. Tell you what, I'm selling. Simply because it'll take a while until we would be using shuttles and the like. And right now, I can get myself quite an advantage out of that silver. Sadly, they don't sell any extra gravlite panels. Would have been too cool. But they do sell a Doomsday rocket launcher. Well, somewhat inclined to take it. But no. At the end of the day, there's not much these guys are selling that I want to have. So I'll be not selling anything. I don't want a big amount of silvers just sitting around in my stockpiles for no good reason at all. Okay then. Now let's build hull. Bioferrite hull. Okay. I've never thought about that as a possibility. There we go. It's going to be our escape from this place. It's also darn small for the amount of people that we are featuring here, but luckily we are not going to space with that thing here, so it's okay. For the time being, we're going to utilize this whole place like this. And eventually everything inside there needs to get reconstructed. This is just this starter sketch that we're going to take until I have some extra gravelite panels to spend. Okay. Labor lending. Okay. A harp. Heck no. So, let's finally get back to researching and let's take truck production. So Maxwell, before you go cooking, start the day with some nice, energizing tea, my man. Okay. We still have a few work orders open, so I'm not going to do anything here. Hell yeah. Does take them a while, but it's fine. So, next step. Ship needs thrusters. Ship needs a lot more too, but well, gotta start somewhere, right? Fennec Fox is hunting armadillo for food. Okay. Who is in the vicinity to prevent this catastrophe from happening? Come on, boys. Show that Fennec Fox who's boss. My poor armadillo's dying. Okay, my dude. You made your last mistake. Well, there we go. Oh, we're finally almost through the storm season. It's really quite the relief. Okay. Jimmy has an inspired surgery. Too bad that I don't have any implants or such that I want to spin. That would be cool. Okay, but we're almost there, guys. I think tonight we're gonna make it happen. Graph core detected. Let's see where that happens. George Shannon, hey there, welcome. And the crashed mechanoid platform has crash landed on a glacial plain really far south of here. Interesting enough that the glacial plain is south from here. Yeah. George definitely has quite the story behind himself by now. Jimmy too. And George also has a hyper reef hat that I really haven't had in mind when I started doing this, but now is what it is, I'd say. I have eaten all the steel. Yeesh. I didn't expect it to be that brutal. Whoa. Okay. Sorry, folks. Okay. That is, in so far, quite terrible, because we do need a lot more. So let's see. They're not able to go down there anymore? No, they should be. Interesting question is then, why aren't they? So, because they were busy with other things, obviously. There we go. For some reason I set Jimmy on no mining for a while. Don't know why. Ooh. Juicy. And they're still in the allowed zone. Nice. They contain components, that's why I like them. Okay, I really want to get off this tile tonight. Because I really noticed that I do... how to call it? Hold myself back from building some bigger structures on this base. Just because we are more or less planning to leave this place behind after all. Anyways, let's see. We will require a pilot console too. Let's go for that here. Then we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 people. It's gonna be one hell of a barracks though. Mechanoid cluster. I mean, we already have one, guys. So that's 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Neighborhood service. Let's see. I think I just need to exclude a little bit more of the anti-mech zone, or... well... No, just fine. Right. Pretty much nothing has changed. Randy just intensified the amount of evil mechanoids that were roaming around there. So we are finally almost done with the rainy, stormy weather. There we go. Weather controller is no longer weather controlling. Stop that storm by now. We got the man storm now with us. That must be it. Alright. Bennett is doing his best to train the Mega Sloth. I still take name recommendations or wishes. First good one will be taken. Sadly, you have to convince me. Here we go, George. Build that thruster. Hell yeah. So that's there. Jimmy is making the steel possible that we require. Rest of the colony is just hauling the stuff. Nice. With so many people working together, it's really much less of a problem now. They still managed to build a poor bed. Clowns. Okay, so I got granite blocks and only a handful of these. I want more. Simply because I want stone shelves. Stone shelves don't burn. Okay, now we just need some enemies coming from the southern side, and then we can also get ourselves some steel. There we go. Hey, further reading. Welcome, mate. Hope you had a good evening. Thanks for dropping on by. If I'd be not busy parenting so much, I'd be also dropping by more often on your end, but I'm always busy with the little boy when I get your notifications, so I beg the forgiveness. Alright. Pilot console down. So the goal for the ship will be very minimalistic. It's supposed to have a carrying capacity for the for goods, and we want to have a sleeping spot for the folks, and then we're going to set up a new base wherever we land for the time being. That means we do require still one more thing: chem fuel production and chem fuel tanks. That is really absolutely mandatory, and obviously some energy production as well. Therefore, let's get that biofuel refinery down. And... some nice romantic chem fuel tank into the sleeping room. Temporal flux, hi there. It's definitely a very good kind of busy. We're currently practicing reading for the school, and I'm allowing him to read me Yu-Gi-Oh, you know. It's quite complicated reading for a second grader, so it's okay. He's doing really great, and he enjoys the reading, so win-win. Alright, so happy that things are slowly shaping up. We're going to take the machining table with us. It's too valuable. Same as the electric smelter. There we go. Then we will have to set up. I think I'm just gonna roll with chem fuel here. So. Let's go for there. Yeah, the power of loving something is all I can say. If you love something, you can already read things way before your time and such. All right, leader speech is ready. I think it is not a good day. Okay. What do they know? It's a great day. We're finishing the spaceship. Craft ship. Whatever. Get the idea. So, there we go. There's still so much steel needed for this monstrosity. And this is just the baby version of this ship. You know? The fledgling still needs to be nursed version of my little explorer shuttle. Still doesn't have any lighting. Nothing. Poor folks will be living like barbarians inside there. Okay. I am somewhat worried that this steel vein might not be enough. Okay. Oh, this one is a proximity activator. Probably never gonna activate. But I mean, at least the blueprints are down and we're only a couple of 100 units of steel away from our next step of the adventure. It's quite something. I mean, this is still quite optimistic as we have still to do quite a lot of logistics before we can get there. Oh, why am I so stupid? Stop being stupid, guys. Why look for the steel so far away when we can have it right here around the corner? Sometimes my brain is not braining as I think it should brain. You see. But I'm pretty sure we all know this kind of condition. Anyways, good thing that I noticed. There's still more here. Oh, which reminds me that I wanted to do something here about the settings. Because I didn't know, up until very recently, that the nomadic mineable resources are by default at 50%, which means as soon as I leave this map tile, the mineral density will be much worse, which I find unfair. I don't want to. And I honestly don't quite understand why the rest of the world should be less mineral dense than the very first grid you're landing on. It's... I don't know. There's no narrative that I could spin out of these things. Sadly, I would if I'd find anything that made sense. Anyways, Jimmy is quite good at mining by now, and Storm. You know, Storm. I disagree. Defender Interplanetary. Okay. Nice to have such a chill Rimworld evening tonight. I don't know, this game has always those warm fuzzy feelings for me. We could be a bit more of a crowd here, but not the worst. So let's sell some of our items. Graphite panels! Heck yeah! Only a handful of them, but still something. Yes. Nice. It really, really does make me happy. And because that makes me so happy, you guys get a little bit more of my tea. Mighty, mighty tea, tea, mighty tea. Don't mind me. Okay. Hey, Temper of Flux, so... You think my kid's lucky with it, with that? Yeah, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. I think it's a great story. Sci-fi novels. Aw, your dad only wanted to share his love to sci-fi with you, I think. Well, if you tag too many different things on the map, nothing gets done anymore. Nobody knows that art better than my wife. She's really grandiose at making huge plans that overstress the entire colony. She got better over the years at that, but I still do see that on her designs quite a lot. Trobo Tribe, Bulk Goods Trader. Okay. Just when I gave up on the expansions on the ship, some extra Gravelite panels crashed onto our base. I mean, I think it is totally fine for the time being. Ooh, the tribals look at the spaceship. No touching. Alright, so let Bennett do the trading with Mega Scarab. Nice name, bud. So, as a matter of fact, I was also reading as a child way too much sci-fi and fantasy novels, as a matter of fact. I never was in contact with real children's literature. The closest to children's literature was Ursula Le Guin's, how was it called? The Wizard of Earthsea trilogy. It took me a couple of years to understand that this was supposed to be for teenagers, and I read it like when I was 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that. I understood only half of the things, but I still love the novels. They're great. I reread them years later, and good stuff. Just good stuff. But my parents also somehow failed to give me proper children's literature. I don't know. I directly started with the grown-up stuff. I wouldn't recommend, from my perspective nowadays. But at least they gave me love for reading, so I don't want to complain. It's way better than many other people are having it, you see. There we go. Slowly digging our way to the new steel. I am taking here a sort of a little bit of a detour by expanding the tunnels. Driver interplanetary. We are being pelted by traders. We don't even have that many trade goods compared to all the traders that come on by here. These are even selling meals. That's relatively rare. But at least we can sell away a couple of reefers. Something. They're selling Gravelite panels, boys. Yeah. So I think we're just going to expand the ship on the next tile that we're landing on. It's sorta ironic though that now, today, when I decided to leave this tile, there's so many traders coming on by that I easily could not only build the grav anchor, but also You know, I would have had the plasteel available for that, but we want to. I want to travel a little bit for that. I'm really not that happy with my map tile here. Hey, Glasper. Yeah, I actually had not so many of these really terrible German um, fairy tales that were extraordinarily brutal, full of limb amputations and worse. I don't know. These things, whoever thought that they were suitable for children, except for scaring the hell out of them. And I'm afraid that was exactly the purpose of the authors. So Jimmy is a little bit angry tonight. He's been insulted, and digging in the darkness doesn't sit well with him. Tell you what, Jimmy, before you go resting, you light up, my man. Together with your buddy Maxwell. I bet he's already on starvation too. Yep. Know it. I know my potheads. Sweet, sweet relief. So he's still at chemical hunger. So I'd say down the hatch. The children's story here in Germany, I really wonder sometimes if they are so horrible in other countries too. Struwwelpeter alone is, I don't know. What the hell? Like, what the hell? So many of these. Such what the hell experiences. Behave or we cut off your fingers. Okay. Freaks. But I guess it's just been different times back then. Children were way more hardcore a few centuries ago if you didn't condition them properly. Us parents of the 21st century should be grateful that we can treat our children without these brutal ways and means, and they still develop and define human beings. Isn't it great to be a person in the future? Violet March, it does get the message across. Yeah. Um, where I'm from, Temporal Flux, I'm from Germany. Thing with my accent though is that it is a chimera of all manner of different accents, because I do watch a lot of international TV, and sometimes I watch a lot of British TV, and I immediately do notice how my accent does Britishify. And the same for American things, and it's just, I don't know. Very much learned by the things that I listen to, and it shows. But I guess there's a thin layer of OG icon below that. And it's very good that you have a spark for yourself going on, Temporal. Joran, what a pleasure to see you, man. Hope you're doing good. Alrighty. Slowpoke progress. But we're finally reaching the steel layers. I mean, I am very happy with our progress. I think we have all the components that we do require. Well, I gotta say my work here has really gave me the cutting edge on my English skills that I haven't had before. I went through the school of nagging commenters. It's Cedar, not Cedar. Or or comparable wonderful things like that. Some people really get worked up if you pronounce things wrongly. Dang, you really make it sound like I should try out Palia for myself. You keep talking about that game since years. I know you now for a pretty long time, and Palia is something that comes up again and again. That is something that usually is either a guilty pleasure and or a really good game. Well, by the way, Temporal Flux, I think I have ironed out most of my German accent over the time by just practicing, and I also was lucky enough that my dad was working for the US Army since I was a little kid. So I've been really in contact with first-hand American pretty early, and it has gone even as far as that while I was 8 or 9, I met an Australian exchange student at the children's center where I spent my days back then, and he enjoyed totally teaching me English. I totally enjoyed trying to understand his native language, and we were vibing quite good for a couple of weeks. And that pretty much has laid the foundation for a lot of good things. And the list goes on. I was lucky enough that in the 6th grade or 7th grade, I had a real American teacher for a year. That was great. This guy was one of the greatest teachers that we ever had. He took no shit from nobody, and if you were nice to him, he was nice to you. That's the greatest relationship that you could have between a teacher and a student. Well, Rimworld Yarn, I think, is, with the current version 1.6, at the height of its existence. It's the best Rimworld version that I've ever played. Vanilla has never been that much fun. Ever. Period. Just realized one big problem with my little construction here. My biofuel refinery that would that I need to make biofuel has no power. And it won't get power because the biofuel generators don't have biofuel. So we're just kickstarting it with our own network here. And Maxwell is throwing a party. What is this thing? The party room? It's the only table in the colony, and it's an awful table. What kind of monster am I? These guys are living here 185 days under the burden of one awful table. Pro Rimworld player, by the way. The classic German accent is insofar a myth that the cliche of us not being able to pronounce the th properly, that's one thing. But I'd say a certain clunkiness with words. That's very German. And a different way of pronouncing things. I think the German accent is actually quite subtle. We are just used to see Germans who are actually not capable of speaking English, and we put them in front of cameras and everybody's having a laugh. That's pretty much what's happening. Okay, so does the wild child survive the mechanoid cluster? What are you thinking about? Yeah, there is definitely a German accent. That is totally a thing. But I think it is not as much connected to the cliches as we know it. Okay. So my little spaceship is almost ready for a takeoff. What it does need still are shells. The plan is, when we are ready for a takeoff, to delete all the stockpile zones here in the colony to trigger a mass carrying event here. Low food? Oh, dear. My agriculture is just not enough. Okay. The lab rats are out to get us some new food. I mean, I could also milk the boomalope for chem fuel, but instead I'm shooting it for a good meal. Bennett, why are you so slow? Because you're high as a kite. Perfect. Ooh. And lost is lost. Poor guy. Alzheimer's is such a nasty disease. I wonder if we can cure it in some way. I mean, one of these regeneration items should work, no? Oh no! It triggered the proximity activator. What a tragic and unforeseeable event. Okay. There's, did somebody say low food? Ah, don't worry, Temporal Flux. I love chatting about whatever during streams. This is basically a lot of the reason why I do these streams, you know. While I do my videos, I am very strict about what I do talk and don't talk. And it is a quite relief to be able to just chat around and beat about, as long as it's interesting topics. I don't mind at all. An ally with enemies. So 3 raids with just crappy enemies. That bionic arm, though. Somewhat tempted. Because these guys are really crappy enemies. We got pretty decent fortifications by now. And a bionic arm is really a nice reward. But I'd say, that close before takeoff, nah. The integrated Twitch thing was quite nice for the audience, but absolutely stressful for me, sadly. The events you could vote for were really freaking me out. I gotta be honest about that. And the rest of the things, yeah, the colonist naming didn't work half of the time. Emu has self-tamed. Yeah, well, okay. So, I might be trying again. It's a couple of years now. If there's any good Twitch integration things, because at the end of the day, these things are fun. But only as fun as they are well made. But thanks for reminding me. There's a couple of things that I want to do. There's also, Ash has brought up a pretty cool little browser game that we're going to implement to the Twitch chat. I meant to do it the whole week, but I keep forgetting. Okay. Keep spamming the research that nobody needs. And since the ship is now finally powered up, let's do a party. Party people! doesn't sound too party. It was unforgettable. Get what I said. Nice. So we're going to bed with a with good feels and good vibes. Nice. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Joran. I think this will be a pretty nice banger again. Just gotta check which kind of things are currently the standard, so to speak. Maybe we can ask around in Discord too. Probably somebody knows. Okay. So we're gonna be making chem fuel from wood. Because there's just enough timber on the map spread out right now. And as soon as we are geared up, we're gonna take off and leave this place behind. Okay. Well, at least we have now a second table. Days of anarchy are over. Nice. There's so many trees around here now. So, one next project are these stone shelves for the ship. We got now the stone blocks I was hoping for. Let's shelf it up. When it comes down to spaceships, I really like to use as much of the room as we possibly can. Mad Gazelle. Thanks, boys. Gotta love those mechanoids. Okay. So each one of them is 20 blocks. We have 11 ordered. Yep, that is all doable. Then we can bring one more here. Problem about these bad boys is just they have quite the construction time. Stone shelves being stone shelves. There we go. I just realized that, now that you say it, that your Twitch account was for a long, long time not around. Did they finally give it free to you again? I mean, obviously, yes. William Reinke, sorry for hearing you that late. Happy to have you. I originate actually from a northern area of Bavaria, Tempera Flux, since you're asking. For those who are from Germany, the region is Unterfranken, you know. Yes, yes. German people will even know might even notice the specific accent. We have a pretty specific way of pronouncing the R, and a couple of other kinks with our language. I like language. It's one of my favorite topics, so it's never a bad topic for me. Unless you correct me wrongly. Franken liegt in Bayern, yeah. It's part of Bavaria, yes. The basically the upper left corner of it is the whole Franconian area. So 3 parts: upper, lower, and middle. Yes. It's bordering to Baden-Württemberg. I don't know what that's in. Yeah, the year-old argument that Franconia is not really Bavaria. The thing is, Bavaria is just a horrible place to be, and nobody wants to be part of that place because they all suck. But that's a whole different topic. I mean, I ex-migrated from that place because I didn't like it there. And I didn't regret it a day. It's the worst part about it. Well, there is a truth in so far that Franconian people are really not the same as the rest of Bavaria, but the problem is they suck too. I must be able to tell it because I'm like that as well. So constantly angry, naggy people. Basically like the prototype Karen. Just from a different part of Germany. There we go. Problem on my end is just that I don't drink any alcohol, and if you don't drink booze, you are, in many regions of Germany, already automatically an outsider. It's just what it is. It goes even as far as in some communities you will be even looked at as somebody who probably shouldn't be taken seriously because there must be something wrong with you if you're not drinking like all the other people. Most likely you're doing drugs then. It must be that, because otherwise you would be drinking like a normal person. It's horrible. Well, in Germany, if you complain about noises, don't get your hopes high. Everything that will happen is that the police will come on by, knock knock, please turn off the music, and then they will go. And then you're still fucked. It's just that. If you call the police again, they might come, but only if there's really something horrible happening, and people are still noisy after 10 p.m. Then they can do something. But it is still like, and nothing more. I've had a friend of mine who's had really noisy neighbors. They were powerless. These guys just followed strictly the times when the police was not able to interfere, and then they pissed the hell out of these guys as much as they could during their legal times. Sadly, that's not... If they come around at all, yeah. It depends on the city you're living in, exactly. Okay, so I don't want the generators to be fueled because they're currently eating up all my chem fuel that I am producing. That is just not what I want to have here. I want to have my tanks filled. Quite crammed, but, well... Oh, Storm gets a growth moment. So, passion for crafting or for mining? Definitely will stick to crafting. So, psychopath, misogynist, chemical fascination, or pyromaniac? Excellent. I mean, the easiest choice would be psychopath. That is just, you know, typical. But I will take chemical fascination. He spent so much time with Jimmy and Max. They're both featuring quite the substance habits. And since this is, after all, still the attempt of doing more of a storytelling run and less everything else, I feel like that is the only viable choice. As cool as it might have been. We are going to delete those tree growing zones too, because they are just no good for us anymore. We're soon leaving. Mech cluster with a toxic spore. Okay, we'll be wandering over and bash it. Because that's what you do when they do it. Let's send Gukis and Bennett. Our plants are already dying. And I bet people are already suffering from toxic buildup. It's even somewhat challenging. Should be the angle we can home in. Yep, just like I said. Okay, that is unfair. They made these harder now. Okay. Run! My friends did well. We're not going to take any loot. Instead, we're just gonna be happy that we destroyed the damn thing. My heroes! Because people here had already minor toxic buildup by now. If the toxic spear would have been not as close around, I even would have had to take countermeasures. I really need to be careful now. Let's do one really important thing. I don't want to enter my map tile from the southern border. No thanks. This angle, though, should be okay. Because you see, people are usually entering the tile roughly from the direction they enter the map is. And currently coming from the southern border, slightly problematic. Well, in Germany it's either quiet or gosh darn noisy. It really depends on where you're living at. I've experienced both extremes, so to speak. Alright, so here we are still working on the fulfillment of our chem fuel bills. But I think we are already at a point where I can delete the first of these zones. I hope we have enough shelf space on board for all of our treasures. So let's probably add in a few more here. That's very true. If other people are loud, you can be loud as well. In our apartment situation currently, for example, the fact that other people in the house unit have a dog was really cool for us, because that meant there will be absolutely no problem for us having a dog too. That was really cool on our end. So sometimes the things that other people do can be a real benefit for you. And I just decided that we're going to expand the ship with some more shelf space. Since I was able to buy so many Gravlite panels. Oh, a logging work site of the Orwoodburgians. They still killed Jimmy's dog, one must know. Okay. Oh, we must make these out of granite now. Then I want a bookcase, so we can store our books on board too. And this will be sort of a walk-in pantry. But yeah, so far the plan comes together. Or tell you what, we're just going to reinstall that bad boy here. Yeah, I think we have enough shelf space. Okay. I can't wait to get my hands on my own graph core too. But on the other hand, I must say, judging with what we started with, I'm quite happy with that. That's a pretty good setup. And there's an Aurora. I feel like that's a great sign. So in something around 3 days, we're gonna be seeing a event for our Ideologian. And I feel like that is a great moment to just start flying then. So... no cookies. I really wonder why people love it so much to wear back gear. Why is there such a high desire on our colonists to wear back gear? I'd like to know. Okay. Then we can delete this zone too. She's coming together, guys. Alright. Multi-angle attackers. Some from there. So, burst up, let's save. That's gonna be a fun attack. Let's go here. So, Gugus, Storm, Brody, George, Bennett, Chris. Lost will be undrafted. Lost is just too geriatric by now. With his Alzheimer's, I don't want him close to combat. So you guys think that this is a great idea, do you? Okay. Yeah. Alright. Let's see how this goes down. Yeah, this little thing here does split them up that they can't enter quickly. It is so stupidly powerful. So Brody took an arrow. Good job, guys. Where did the arrow hit? Into the torso. Alright. That was easy enough. Okay. And that is why I personally think that it's quite great to have a mech cluster that has no threat thing on itself. Stockpiles are low again. Let's fetch La Rata. So, how did you guys manage to burn your walls? Just asking for a friend. Okay. I hate it when they do that. Yeah, so casually just started to be aggressive, and now I have to reload because the whole fight just went south because I didn't realize them attacking. Ah, that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing Iron Man Rimworld. Because it's just situations like these where I feel like, yeah, sure. Very dramatic way of creating pressure on me. So for some odd reason, the mechanoids felt like attacking after that went down. I gotta be careful this time if it happens again. So, yep. Pretty sure that the events will repeat like that. Yeah, it does make sense. Their encampment was on fire. And that's always the first thing, or one good reason for the mechs to go roaming when their location that they fight from is no longer working. Those guys think they're smart, eh? Okay. Let's see if this will trigger the mechanoids yet again to attack me. But I do see a pretty high likelihood. Yeah, there they go, attacking now. I mean, there is no danger horn or anything ringing, nothing. It's pretty brutal. Okay. Let's see how that'll go down now. Let's save the game just precautiously. So the shooting range is so long that the enemy is barricading itself here. And what? It's doing fire here? Interesting. Nonsensical, albeit interesting. So yeah, my defenses are crap. I take it. Fine. But this place was never meant to withstand a full-fledged mechanoid attack. George. Oh, I hate this so much. Behavior of colonists when they're on fire is so nonsensical. I mean, why should somebody actually run away while they are getting quenched from fire? Panic? I don't know. Okay, but I think this time we did it. No more mechanoids roaming around. So we might be low on food, but that doesn't matter that much right now. Yeah, I feel like the usual approach should be to throw yourself on the ground and roll. That is, I feel like that is so close to common sense that I always think this should be the very first thing they try to do. This whole run around, run away from safety. This should be a fringe case that sometimes happens when people lose their nerve. That's okay, but it should be the standard action. Feels weird. Alrighty, but I'd wait. Did it. So, leader speech is ready. Nice. Come on, Jimmy. Show us what you got. Encouraging. Yeah. That low on food situation is a little bit annoying, but, well. Let's harvest as much as we can. Hunt as much as we can. And then we are ready for takeoff. Raina Sky, hey there, happy to see you. I was almost about to go offline for tonight. What a nice surprise to see you here tonight still. Well, we did quite well. We didn't suffer any bigger losses here. Warcraft, good choice. Alrighty. It's still burning down there, is it? Yep. The screen shakes are giving are a dead giveaway, you see. Okay. Okay, we're almost there, guys. Let's deconstruct the shelves. Okay. I think we're pretty much ready, aren't we? Let's see. Alright, that is something that we need to take care of still. Well, Path of Exile, I don't know if it ever will come back. And Last Epoch, well, we're probably gonna give it a try again. My last attempt with it was a while, and I wasn't too vibing too hard with it. But that might have been also my taste back to during that time. Okay. So there's still a lot more chem fuel to be crafted here. I want to have a certain small stockpile here, I see. So we can sustain ourselves on the new tile directly for a short amount of time without needing to get that stuff together. Alright, so let's do a Sky Lantern Festival. Oh, tomorrow is a new season, right? Thanks for the pointer. Might be around there then. 11 a.m. CDT. What kind of time zone is that again? So, Jimmy went onto insulting spree because it's dark. Okay. Rain and sky? Thank you. So 5 p.m. tomorrow. Nice. So, my good friends, that Sky Lantern Festival was also for tonight the end of the stream. I just posted a Ko-fi page there, so feel free to support my work on that site. I'd be very, very grateful if you did so. And we'll be back tomorrow and the rest of the week as per usual with new stuff. And apart from that, I want to say thanks for the good company, you all. Always a pleasure.